Hi everyone, myself Shweta Shetty, working as an assistant professor, Department of ISC, MITM. So, in discussion with the software engineering models, software process models, previously we have learnt the three types of models, that is all about your waterfall model, incremental model and the spiral model. Well, by the time you have an idea, I think, so how this particular models will be working on and how to use of this particular models in your real time applications in building the different softwares. So, on basis to this, we need to continuation to this, we need to analyze the actual software process activities. So, well being to that, in order to analyze that, what we are supposed to do is this particular software process activities in detail you should know. So, as in the beginning of the software engineering I said you guys, that is the how to use the software requirements and how to use that particular requirements in the building the products and for the satisfying the customer needs, right. So, in order to analyze that, the particular software process activities should be performed in detailed manner. So, how will you analyze that particular thing? So, in depth to that, you need to know many activity diagrams, how it is going to be working on. So, in order to analyze that in depth of the requirements collection and the processing of that particular connection and how to design the software, that is the main thing you should know, how to design the software and how actually on designing process what is the different subsystems you are going to deal and how to make use of it, those are the things you need to know. So, in order to analyze that, as I said, the 4 software activities. First one is system specification. Second one is system design and implementation. And the third one is system validation. And the fourth one is system evolution. So, these are the 4 software activities where the software engineers will be dealing on. So, in perspective this, we are going to analyze the each activity of the software in depth. So, very first is software specification. So, next now we shall analyze how actually the software specification process undergoes. So, in order to do that, very first procedure, as I said, the software specification is nothing but we are going to collect the requirements from whom, that is from the customers or might be yours from the clients, is it not? So, once you are collecting the requirements, what is the next process? So, is that we are sure that all the requirements what we have gathered from the particular customers, can we execute it? So, that is the important thing. As a software engineer, you need to analyze how actually these requirements can be convertible to the required executable system. That is the main task, but it is not at all possible, that is the 100% surety you cannot give to the customers. That is, what is the requirements they have asked, you are going to give the 100% to them in between the different phases. That is why you need to know how actually this 4 processes been working on and what are the developing stages it might change. So, it is not the concept that the client will be approaching you and the requirements will be given to you and accordingly you are going to start working on the software. No. So, there are many phases where you will be analyzing the requirement changes, and again you should be sure that you should be aware that you should make sure that you are contacting the required customers and you are going to tell them, that is it might be some changes that may happen in the particular phase of the software process. That is why this is the 4 process activities, that is where the different design or the implementation or the validation or the evolution phases. In evolution we cannot change, that is only just we can change the versions and bring up the changes, but once it has been designed and implemented, if suppose the requirements to be changed or the product what the customer was expecting, it may not reach the requirements. So, in order to come up over all those issues that might happen in this particular software process activities, what we are going to deal is all about in the feasibility study. What is this feasibility study? You can say this is the fundamental analyzing way. This is the fundamental analyzing way where we will get an idea how actually the requirements will be collected and how it will be implemented to build a model or the software product. So, in analyzing this particular concepts, if we go, we will analyze here with the feasibility study is the first phase, where the simple a basic requirement study will be done, and accordingly we will get an idea what you are supposed to collect the requirements and how we are going to execute it. So, on doing the feasibility study, a report will be done. So, that will be sent to the next phase, that is the requirement elicitation and analysis. That is nothing but it is a process of observing. So, what is the collection that has been happened in the feasibility study? Accordingly, in continuation to that, what happens is all about your requirement elicitation and analysis will be performed. So, what is the use of this and how it will be interrelated to the further specification? So, what happens here is, as I said in the feasibility study, that will be dealing with the analysis of what is the hardware and software technologies we have and what is the requirement, much more requirements we require. So, that will be analyzed as well as, and that should be cheap and cost effective. As a being a customer, we will be trying to, right, that should be done in the low budget as well as the good product. So, that is keeping in mind that particular thing. So, engineer also he will collect the required feasibility report and accordingly he will be trying out to produce the product which is cost effective within the given software and hardware technologies. So, on continuation to that, that is where we are going to analyze whatever the hardware and software we have, whether we can come up by the good software. So, in accordance to with that, what happens, software engineer will come up with the stakeholders interaction, that is who is well experienced in the procured task. So, with them with the experience basis they will collect the requirements and they will show the requirements and the analysis will be done. What is the requirement is asking by the given by the client, I can offer it. So, that is the question. So, accordingly that elicitation analysis will be performed, and accordingly the requirement specification phases it will be moving on. So, in this particular thing what happens is all that goes is with the user requirements and the system requirements. So, in a requirement specification model what happens, they will be dealing with the user requirement and system requirement. Yes, there is a difference between the user requirement and the system requirement. So, all about your user requirement is nothing but just we are going to collect in half of the required in a abstract way. That is, not sure all the requirements that is being collected will be executed, but in somehow we are going to manage that particular requirements. So, on continuation to that there is the system specification. So, all that two phases, that is the requirement specification that deals with the your user specification as well as the system specification. Then what is the difference between this? So, as I said, user specification is an abstract view, that is the just the blind, we can say the blindly we are going to collect the requirements, later the analysis will be performed. But in the system specification what happens is it is a detailed specification. We cannot just say it is an like an overview. No, there where in the system specification you are giving the detailed structure of what is going in this particular specification and how we are going to deal with the further process. So, accordingly in accordance with this requirement specification will be working on, and as we said the fourth stage, that is the requirement validation. So, what happens in the requirement validation? That particularly this requirement validation, in the very beginning itself we said that deals with the realism as well as the consistency. So, we will check the consistency, what is the requirements is matching the requirements given by the clients, and accordingly the progress of the project or the product will be working on. So, on basis to that the requirement validation, that is the best thing, right. Once we are done with the specification we need to check whether it is going to satisfy the requirements, and according to that the product will be released. So, in accordance to with that what happens in requirement elicitation and analysis, where the system models will be set out, that is how whether it reaches what are the type of models we are supposed to deal with the requirement specification, and where as I said in the requirement specification we have the two types, user and system requirements. All together of this particular process that will be documented as the requirement documentation. So, accordingly the requirement documentation will be performed and engineer will get a feasibility phase of study. So, that is how to deal with the requirements things with the elicitation and analysis and the requirements specification. I hope you got an idea what actually the beginning of the stage a software engineer should be performed on collection of the requirements. This is how that is going to deal. So, the next process is the second activity, what we are supposed to learn, software design and implementation. So, when we say the design, so what is the thing will be kept in our mind, designing, how will we design, what is the requirements and how to design with requirements given by the customer. So, well, in the very first feasibility study we got an idea how to deal with the requirements collection, and we will be get an analysis of the requirement document. So, on that flow next thing is I will try to implement those particular requirements into the, that is nothing but the software design and implementation is nothing but we are going to convert the requirements into the executable system. So, in order to convert to the executable system, what are the phases you need to analyze? That is the question. So, in order to analyze what is the requirements and how to design and what all we need in order to design and implement. It is so easy to say that the software will be designed and it will be implemented. No, there are many things to be analyzed while exhibiting the requirements. So, let me say the very first is the all about the, we will be undergoing with the three steps here. Very first we need to give the design inputs, and in continuation to that we will be dealing with the design activities, and finally we will get an design outputs. So, what happens with perspective these three particular steps? As I said in the very beginning, the design inputs will be dealing with the three basic things. What are those? That is the platform information, second one requirement specification, and the data description. So, when we say regarding the platforms, though there are requirements, that is why in the beginning itself we have learned there are many models, and on accordance to the requirements we need to select the platform information. The requirements will be running on which particular platforms and where I should build the system. So, accordingly very first input is all about the platform information. In accordance to that, the second is the requirement specification, where with the feasibility study itself we will get the inputs, and the third thing is the data description. Altogether we are going to get an idea what we are supposed to give the design inputs and what is the continuation to that particular design inputs. So in accordance to that you will have the some other subsystems. So, that is the main system. If we consider, in accordance to that, continuation to that, we have the different subsystems. What are those? That is the where your actual designing activities will be starting out. Here it is just an fundamentally we are taking the inputs. The next thing is you need to analyze what is the actual task it will be performed. So, that is the architectural design, interface design, and the component design. Altogether that will be dealing with the database design. So, very first architectural design. What is this architectural design and what are the requirements that should be executed? So, accordingly this particularly in accordance with the architectural design, where it gives the platform, that is how the system should be built. In accordingly we will be designing what is the subsystem actually the system should be looking on. So, accordingly on requirements things, that is from the procure task we are going to collect the required things and we are going to finally architecture the designs. Then the second one is the interface design, that is with the one architectural design it cannot be formed, the actual task of the software cannot be found out. So, what happens, we also require the interface designs. What is the interface to that required, what are the other components that should be involved with this particular in designing the software. So, hence that is where you can see there is a dependency between the interface design as well as the component design. Altogether that forms the database design. Yes. Once the architecture is ready, next thing is we need to access that particular product and where that should be designed, and accordingly the requirements should be executed. So, in accordance to the design activities we will be followed by the design output. So, that involves all your system architecture. So, on to the declaration with the what are the requirements we need, on connection to that the design database design will be formed, but the system architecture will give the required where how actually your process of software will be working on by using the requirement things as well as the which is the system models that should be applied. And database specification also will be performed with required. See, this is a generalized way we are going to tell. In accordingly next upcoming chapters you will learn how actually to apply the required models in performing the for an example I said the objects in the class and activity diagrams you are going to collect and you will analyze it, and finally you will be linking towards all this what we are telling now, that is how to write the architectural design with the different patterns and how to deal with the interface designs and the database design. So, likewise the database specification will be given, interface specification will be given and component specification will be given. This is just an overview. We are going to create how actually the software should be designed and implemented, but in depth to that still there are many things to be analyzed. So, It's what we said in the very first beginning, that is all this is about the 4 activities, that is the your specification, design, validation and evolution. In depth to that, in detail to that, you should know all these things or the process will be undergoing in the software engineering. Fine. So, next thing is the third step, software validation. So, we have learned what is software specification. In depth to that, you learned how to gather the requirements. In continuation to that, that is the design and implementation. In design and implementation, you have seen the overview of the structure, how to deal with the designing and implementing the product. Next, the third process is the validation. What is the meaning of validation? Why we need to validate? So, whenever you are going to buy any of the products from the required shops, what you are going to check? Whether it is going to work properly. That particular product is tested, right? Whether it going to work. For an example, you are going to buy your mobile phones with the particular requirements, you are going to check out all the what is that you needed, and finally you will buy that particular product. So, likewise here the testing process goes. So, on basis of this testing process, where we will get an idea the whatever the till the working process that happened from the specification to the implementation, whether it is been working well with the error free. So, in order to do that, we are going to perform the testing process in the by the software engineers. So, how will they test it? How can we test the required software? So, basically that will deals with the 3 steps of the process, that is the component testing, system testing, and the third one is the acceptance testing. You could have been asked directly, so far we will have gathered the requirements, we have done the report, and accordingly the design will be performed. Then again, why we require this testing process? Yes, we require this. Why? Because basically there is the dependency. As we already said, we have gone through the 3 process of the software models, where you have analyzed the different advantages and the disadvantages, and how can we perform the required detailed analysis, is it not? So, likewise here also in the testing process, in order to check for the consistency that is working on the required software, we will be undergoing with this particular process, that is the component testing, system testing, and the acceptance testing. So, in detail we will learn how actually this particular process goes. So, very first, what is this component testing, or it is also called as the development testing. So, in particular component testing, that is the each unit, a single unit of the required module will be checked out, and accordingly the report will be performed, and in accordingly what is this simple unit or the simple unit component testing we need to perform. So, if this is the software, we will undergo with many processes. So, there will be a different system and subsystems, is it not? So, and one thing you should keep it in mind, all the one particular software product when it is going to be working on will not be done by the one single person. That will be performed, either it might be in the subsystem modules. So, each module will be divided into sub modules and it will be distributed. So, what happens? Our team may work on their own requirements analysis. So, after the required completion of the task, it is the time to test whether that particular unit of work is working properly. So, in order to analyze that, what happens? We need to check each of this particular single components. So, hence this component testing, that is your development testing, where each of the analysis of the product can be performed in the analyzing the test. After that, as I said, the subsystem model they will be done, and accordingly the testing process goes. The next process is system taking this particular components into the one form, that is the one form we are going to take. So, what it deals when all the single component will be integrated, and again we will check whether the system is running to the requirements, and ongoing to that we will analyze whether the required combination of the single unit of components will be working properly when it is integrated, where the subsystem will be interfacely designed according to the subsystem model and it is going to work on. So, that is the system testing, fine. And after the system testing, this is the time now to accept it. So, what happens in acceptance testing? When you will accept it, that's when you will be going as a customer to the shop and you are going to buy the product. So, this is the time to accept it. So, what happens in the acceptance testing in this particular context is different. So, once the product is ready, that will not be given to the directly to the market. What happens? There are many procedures. So, we will analyze this particular concept of testing process in depth. So, in order to analyze in depth, you can observe here there are many testing phases in the software process. Okay? There are many testing phases in the software process where you can observe here a system that has the requirement specification, where that is the dealing with the system specification. Then later, once the system specification is being got, accordingly there will be the system design and finally the detailed design will be done and that will be converted to the module or unit code test. As I said in the very beginning, the component testing will be done. On basis of this, what happens? In order to analyze this component testing, previously to that all these phases will be working on. What are those? That is your requirement specification, in continuation to that system specification and the system design and finally detailed design. Is that right? So, once the requirement specification is been taken, then the next process is we need to give the system specification and on integrating the system specification, we will start designing the system and in continuation to that detailed design of the required architectural design will be done. After that, that will be converted to as the module or the unit code test. As I said, what I said is the component, fine. So, by this what happens? They will plan out. So, what are the things that should happen and finally what we are supposed to get it. So, very first is on this, that will be linked to the acceptance test plan. So, how I said what are the requirements gathered, that should be finally accepted, that is the requirement. So, accordingly the acceptance test plan will be done and with respect to the requirement specification, that is the last phase where that is been dealt with the acceptance test, fine. So, next is system specification, where it deals with the system integration test plan. Again in a finally that will be the phase of your system integration test, that is nothing but system testing. This is the phase of component testing. System design, that will be dealing with the subsystem integration test plan and finally it executes the subsystem integration test. And in continuation to that, where our unit code, that is your component testing, that will be connected to the subsystem. So, very first stages, accordingly finally the requirement should match the required acceptance, that is it. So, what is the requirements? Customer view is not all this. What is this thing? Just an requirement I will give you and accordingly I should accept the required test plan, that is the plan, and accordingly the service will be given to the customers. This is then what actually in depth in detail testing phases that will be undergoing in the software process, understood. So, likewise the requirement specifications will be working on all these models. Firstly, we will check out a single as a component, that is the code of test, and after that we will try to collect all that single components and will form into the integration of the test plan, and according to that integration what happens is that will be converted to the acceptance. That is the last phase, that is the acceptance test plan. And one more thing you should keep it in mind with respect to the testing phases is when do you accept this? So, in acceptance testing we have the two types, that is the alpha testing and the second one is the beta testing. So, this is very important. While accepting, you need to undergo with this particular concept, that is the alpha testing and the beta testing. What is this alpha testing is all about? It's basically the testing will be performed for the single client and he will observe what are the requirements he has said, whether it has reached his expectation, and this will be happening within the organization, that will be not given to the market as directly as the product. So, that is the difference. All the alpha testing will be done on basis to the single client and where that will be done in the within the organization and according to the requirements where will be checked, and if suppose the changes should be done. So, all that will be performed in the within the organization and later it will be given to the client. The same way if we go for the beta testing. So, all your beta testing is nothing but that goes with the software is made as the product. Software is made as the product and for basically in giving to the marketing. So, whenever the customer is ready to accept that particular product and is able to use it, so those kind of people will be given this particular product and they will find out whether this product is perfect to give made as the product, and on the feedback they will get it if there is any complexities or if there is any problems to that particular things, that will be analyzed and finally it will be taken. So, on basis of this the software is made, so that is why it will be formed as a product that is will be given to the market instead of for the single client. So, with this beta testing they will find out that this happens outside the organization where the some customers will be given the product and they will be given for the check of the product as well as in the organization, and that will be checked out, and if there is any reviews or the feedbacks that will be performed and the changes will be done and again they will be releasing the final product. So, this is how the each of the software product, that is why we will observe the versions, is it not? Why we are observing all these software versions? So, there is a requirements and accordingly on basis of those requirements the daily basisly our system evolution is taking place. It is not constant, that is once the product is been done, that is done and no more changes will be done. No, that was our very first phase of software engineering. That is how your software crisis occurred. That is why the budget was expensive and where the software engineers was not able to reach the customer needs. But now this is not the time where we have the opportunity by using the different software models we can bring up the changes. So, hence on basis of that particular changes itself what we are going to work, and it is easy comparatively your software crisis, is it not? So, on changing the requirements we have the authority to change either in the very first specification phase or it might be in the design and implementation as well as in the development stage. So, likewise that made a life easy of the software engineers and accordingly they can bring the different versions, and likewise where the software is reaching the requirements of the customers. So, likewise this particular acceptance testing will be done on basis of these two, alpha testing and the beta testing. Okay. So, the last stage of your software process activity, that is the software evolution. So, till now we discussed, right, the specification. In accordance to that, we have learned the required design and the implementation, and the third one we learned validation process, that is the testing process, and how actually the testing will be done and how the detailed analysis will be done. With respect to that, you have learned, right, the component testing, system testing and the acceptance testing. In the acceptance, we will be done with the two types of the process, alpha and beta. So, the final process activity is the all your software evolution. So, what is that involves? Very first is define system requirements. Yes, we have done that. Then accordingly assess the existing system. So, you need to try out what is the changes I can build, what is there in the present and what I can bring the changes to the next in the future. So, for that what we are going to do is the what are the changes I am going to make for the existing system. So, right way you need to write down that also, that is the assess the existing system. In conclusion to that, you are going with the proposed system changes, and finally you are going to modify the system and you are going to come up by the new product or the new system. That is how the new system, where again this new system will be compared with the existing system, and where this existing system will give the proper assessing of the existing system, that is what is now and whether it has been changed, or we can bring up the requirements, we can match the requirements of the new system. And if suppose you are going to in between while assessing the existing system as well as the proposed system, if you are going to modify the system, again you should come back from the scratch, that is the define system requirements, and again you start building the new system. This is what the evolution takes place. That is why we said in the very first beginning, where the last software evolution that should meet the requirements of the customers in the daily basis. As today we are in a state where we are observing a day to day thousands of innovations of the technologies, is it not? So, likewise where the system should also be ready to accept the changes, and accordingly there should be not be the chances from the beginning of your process. It is better we need to make a system, that is the new system, where it satisfies the requirements as well as it is going to accept the changes. Okay? It should accept the changes and accordingly the process will be evolved. So, this is why the requirement specification that will be evolved to the required solution. So, once the evolution it is going to accept, that is the best example is with all your Windows versions from the beginnings towards your Windows 7 to 8, 8.1, right. So, up to now we are in the stage of 10. So, all this is nothing but the add-ons features. So, likewise the add-on features which benefited the customer's needs, that is how it is been updated, that is how the system will be updated and it will give the satisfaction of the requirements that is be accepted by the customers. So, so this is the chapters we have covered all your requirements analysis and what is the fundamental process that should be performed as the software engineers in performing the modules. Again you will learn how actually this process goes in depth. So, this is what in the abstract we are going to learn, again in depth in detail you will be analyzing. Okay. So, this is the intro towards your software engineering basics.